Julian King, welcome. We've had a bunch of technical difficulties getting together, but I believe we're right on now. We're not live, but we are live to tape. How you doing, brother man?
I am wonderful, Clifton.
And speaking of that, I'm a key Jafaikian, right? Because a lot of people think I'm Jamaican, but I said to them,
Nobody thinks you're Jamaican.
a lot of people think I'm Jamaican, even
All
some
right,
Antiguan.
I will apologize to them when I see them again.
But I said to them, look, I'm not Jamaican, I'm a Jamaican, but Jamaicans talk like we.
Yeah, we do. We go and study the house of Clifton so we can speak like you. Thank you.
By the
Oh,
way, here's what I'm drinking, right? Red Stripe, which is probably the most popular, internationally known West Indian beer. But remember Lenny Wilkins, the brother who was the coach of the Raptors, and at one point he was the winningest coach and the losingest coach at the same time.
Yes, he was.
I want to say about Red Stripe is that it's the most internationally popular Caribbean beer, but it's also the worst.
Should I hand you the hammer now, or do I wait?
It's also the worst. Red Stripe is the worst tasting beer in the Caribbean, way below Banks, Stag, Carib. Do you agree?
I want, Reggie, I want to fight. Yeah, son. But I really can't disagree with you.
I'm telling you.
I know enough the other person, but I don't care. Red Stripe, no right.
And let me say something else. I had to go through a lot of toxic stuff, particularly from Jamaicans when I came to Toronto. They would ask, Clifton, how long it take you to travel from Antigua in the canoe? Clifton, I hear that the roads in Antigua so narrow that the dogs have to wag their tails up and down. I said, yes, you Jamaicans, big and broad. You have Marcus Garvey, Bob Marley, the Wailers, reggae music, all kind of thing. And you have the biggest illiteracy rate in the Caribbean. How do you countenance that?
Why are you trying to pick a fight on a Jamaican, bro? Whatever you say, the way we say this, because we're like, you're what? You're right in a Clifton.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't care. Now what? Here I them say anything we're going on foreign, I ought to get the blame.
Well, you ought to get the accolades too.
You see how quick to say that? You hating small islander. That's all you are.
You see what? I
hate. I know you took a while to get it out, but you know it's coming. So don't bother start with your foolishness, bro.
What's this thing about small island, though? What's this thing about small island?
It's just because we like to rib you, because you like to rib us, and that's how it goes. You know.
But y'all were ribbing me before I even thought of ribbing you.
Well, you are, bro. Why you just lump me in with all Jamaicans? Like, what's that about?
I hang with Trinidadians. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Where's that, Papa?
Yeah, but I don't want to think all Antiguans are like Clifton Joseph. I want to feel some of them are some, less cantankerous kind of people.
Well, look, let's move on though and say that Julian, a lot of people think that me and you have got problems. We've had problems. There was like about a year or so we didn't talk after we had a epic battle on Facebook one night because of some of your bullshit. And then look, you want to explain? You want to explain your bullshit for the people?
Nah, bro, you got the floor. You tell the people what you thought my bullshit was, and then maybe I can just squash you again. But go ahead.
There was a time that Masani Montague of Rastafest had a reggae conference going like for 3-4 days or something, right? And I was down there, and then I read some shit you did saying like, oh gosh, how she could do this thing when I have my thing going for a long time, she know my thing and so on. I said to you, well, look, you mean everybody got to like stop their shit just because you do a thing on Saturdays from the boxing loft in Parkdale? And then I had to say to you,
I like the way you just spun that story from the one we had last week that nobody got to see, where you said, I think that I was upset but it was
Yes.
you and Zola who came to me. And Zola, let me just remind you, who came to me and asked me why I was hosting an event on the day she was doing her thing. My event, her event was a free event, and
Yes, of course.
my event was a $20 cover, which I had been hosting for over a year on that exact day.
So she's supposed
So
to defer
you
to
got
you.
upset because you thought that I was doing it to overshine something you think she's
No,
doing.
no,
And
no,
I
no,
was
no, no.
hosting my event no matter what.
No, you're going the wrong way. That's
No,
not
no,
my
it's going the
thought.
wrong way for you. I'm going to
No,
show
no,
you
no.
now what happened.
That
And
wasn't
the
my
funny thing is,
intervention.
I have Spicy God, African Star, the Boxing Love, DJ Scoots, and a bunch of people who have come to all those events prior to it,
Hmm.
knowing full well every third Saturday of the month of the Boxing Love, I did my thing.
Well,
So if I am not doing my thing, why are you upset that I'm doing it?
no, you see, you've spun this thing so wrongly. Let me clarify with the facts.
You're
That
hard.
wasn't my intervention, was that you was upset that she was doing her thing on the
No, I
same
was.
Saturday
How could
as,
I be?
hold on, let me done now.
I make my money and people coming on my things. Whether my son was doing her thing or not, I have my own audience, bro. As she has her own audience.
What you went on
Why?
to say, was that also that they don't invite me. She didn't invite me to this thing to give a thing because they had all kind of big people from Jamaica and all over the world with reggae music in there. And I can't quite verify that because I think Jim Screechily, you went and you deleted your original post.
He's still trying that shit. Dude, listen.
Dude, come on. Come on. Don't lie. Come on. Don't lie for the public.
Any and everybody who is gonna see this when you post it will know that backing down or taking down a post is not in my DNA. You know what I mean? So
Julian, I think you were nervous and out of your league, and you didn't want to face me.
Nervous out, yo.
Hold on, you was nervous.
Hold on. You're bad boy for me. So I'm afraid of you.
Yes, you're afraid of me.
Out of all of the posts I've ever posted on Facebook, you're saying that I went back and deleted a post.
Absolutely, because you afraid me. You afraid
You know
me.
why? You know why?
What?
I think you're correct now. You're right. You're
exactly.
So right.
You afraid me. So you take down the post. So I couldn't even refer to it. And then now you're giving people some revisionist history about me saying this and that about you.
You know what's funny for our audience who's gonna watch this foolishness?
Yeah.
Is that you have brought up this story to me about 4 times now, eh?
Because I couldn't get the truth out of you.
When we didn't speak for a whole year. Why was that?
That was because of that thing. Because I remember we had
that thing. No. I said, why? A whole year passed and we didn't speak. Why do you think that happened?
Well, because we were both cheese and
we were both cheese.
Yes.
All right, can we move on from this one?
No, hold on. No. Let me go further though.
Oh, you got more? Oh shit, go.
Who was the bigger brother at the time to call the other to say, yo, bro, this is ridiculous? Was not I who called you saying, yo, brother, this is some bullshit?
I believe of the two of us, you're the more upstanding citizen. Can we just say that now so we can get that out the way?
Thank you so much. But I mean, I don't know what that means though.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm always telling it to you, always.
Dig, yeah. 2 fingers and not, at least I see 2 fingers and not 1.
Yeah. But I'm thinking 1, but you can see 2.
Julian, let me deal with your hypocrisy.
Yes, sir.
Reggae Lane up here on Eglinton and Oakwood.
Sir.
The city designated a crack alley, blowjob alley as Reggae Lane. I was against it myself. I say, they could do something better. And I got a couple of examples I can say what they could have done. They could have done like they did on University South of Queen, Nelson Mandela Way. They could have designate from Eglinton, from Mali to Kiel as reggae way, right? They didn't do that. They gave us a $10 blowjob and crack alley that they haven't done anything since 2015 to make it better. You went in at first, you were against it, then you were for it, you went to work with them, and then you left them. So I don't even know what your position is.
How was I against them if I went to join it in the first place?
Well, because you left them.
You gotta make up your stories and make them sound at least plausible. Can you just not just swing on a vine? Hear me. So let me talk to the people for a second, and don't jump in and do your usual when the points start to hit you.
All right.
I heard Reggae Lane. A gentleman passed me in the TTC booth, knowing full well about my Canadian reggae energy. I was retiring in 2015, so I thought, yeah, man, Reggae Lane, man, that's it. I've got to get involved in that. It says Reggae Lane, the first laneway in the whole world named after reggae music.
Mm-hmm.
So I jumped on board saying, I'm going to bring my Canadian reggae love to this project. Then I realized that maybe the way they wanted to bring it, right? Bring Reggae Lane in a way of a pat on the forehead for the gentrification of Eglinton West and Little Jamaica. I did say Little Jamaica.
You say, where's that?
Yeah,
Jamaica?
I heard me, Little Jamaica. So
where's Little Jamaica? Because I've never heard of that.
So you're not interrupting, are you? So I was saying to these people, boy, I really love how this I got along, And I also realized I was working real hard for this thing. And when I asked them about, so why aren't you paying the committee an honorarium at least for the work we're doing?
And
we're going to events and promoting the thing and doing, you got my audience like that, right?
Did.
So the colonizer said to me, we have no budget.
Wow. So isn't that familiar?
So I said to the brother, so you're honoring reggae people on Eglinton using my network, not paying any of those people that are on the wall, always giving us walls and things, but you never pay us.
Mm-hmm.
And now you want me to work for free, internship or volunteer,
whatever.
My work.
Whatever.
Right. So I said, you know what? And then coming up to that point, there were a lot of things in the way. So I asked them about some of the things that you're talking about in regards to
fixing up the area, fixing up the lane, do some
anything. So when I realized I was working at cross purposes, because for me, like I said to you from the outset, reggae music is what I do. Reggae is my thing.
And you
no
do
matter
it.
What anybody says,
you do it relentlessly.
Relentlessly, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I decided them might treat me like what we call an old nigga. And I'm like, nah, Benjamin, you not get my work for free and come box me on my face, because I believe Reggae Lane itself, the concept, no matter where it is now historical as the first laneway on the planet to be named after reggae music. So I think as a community, we, the community, deal with it. We don't need them for it because reggae is us. When I read part of your bio, it tells me about, where is it? Let me get it here. I don't like to be misquoted, because when push up, brother, have him on Wikipedia. First of all, I wasn't sure what's your Wikipedia. Either.
Look, me not have
Let me
nothing
read
to,
it.
I don't have
Let me
nothing to do with that Wikipedia page. So I totally denounce the Wikipedia page. I denounce my Wikipedia page.
Okay, who put it up?
I have no idea.
Okay, all right, let me read what they say about you then.
All right, go ahead.
The audience needs to know what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Canadian dub poet. He's most noted for his 1989 album Oral Transmissions, from which the song Chucky Prophecy was a shortlisted Juno Award finalist for the best reggae recording at the Juno Awards in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
A native of Antigua.
And Barbuda.
Okay, and Barbuda. I was gonna say Antigua, but I knew that would piss you off, so I just let it go.
Absolutely. In fact, it wouldn't be correct. It's Antigua. The U is silent.
I am still using Gua because it pisses you off. Anyway, Joseph moved to Canada with his family in the
1970s, which is why this is where it's shading up. You know, like if I specific data here and up, so you know this possibly came on one of them banana boats. I'm not sure. Anyway,
Something going on with your microphone. I ain't hearing you proper. Something going on with your microphone just now.
Hang on, brother. Hang on, brothers.
The volume is way low.
Hang on. You know, these technological, you know, Rasta, you know what was really cool and weird? Trying
What?
to connect you on Facebook. That was the weirdest thing I've ever been a part of.
Oh, Julian, I can't hear you and I can't see you. So something went wrong with your volume.
Hang on.
Your sound. I can hear you, but you sound like you're at the back of the room.
And are you hearing me?
Actually, this is excellent. So bring back your ugly face and bring back your ugly face.
Who not Regina, I have to do the technological things where you don't know.
Excuse me, I love to see your ugly face.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, as I was saying, he published the poetry book Metropolitan Blues in 1983. So we have a published writer here, but has been associated primarily with the performance poetry, which I've seen some of those things alongside awesome Lillian Allen, Devon Houghton. He was one of the pioneers of dub poetry in Canada. The three collaborated on the compilation album The Dub Poets in 1982.
With Truths and Rights. With Truths and Rights.
The Truths and Rights. Okay, thank you. Well, it's not here in your Wikipedia. Joseph has also been a journalist, broadcaster, including stints as a correspondent for TV Ontario's literary program Imprint, as a reporter for the CBC television news series Undercurrents, Marketplace, and The National, and a writer for the Toronto Star and the Globe and Mail. He was a two-time winner of the Gemini Award for Best Writing in an Information Program, a church program or series, for his work in Undercurrents in 1998 and 1999. In 2017, he was nominated to the League of Canadian Poets Sherry D. Wilson Golden Berry Award for Spoken Word Poets. So I'm reading this to the people them out there. The reason why I knew it couldn't be your Wikipedia because I did not see Leroy.
It's actually Clifton Leroy DeCourcy, Joseph.
DeCourcy. Why did you leave out the DeCourcy? Because I'd have popped that in there too. All right, so they need to work on your Wikipedia. But even so, even though you're not really into this Wikipedia, it is what represents you out to the planet, you see.
Well, so plus there's me too, living my life, and I meet people daily. So I believe that I am my most accomplished ambassador.
Right on. I see what you're saying here. See, because I want the people them to know this brother here who's coming at me, telling me about some other kind of thing. No, man. Reggae music is my past. So when Reggae Lane,
Mm-hmm.
I read all this, you know. So when I
Yes.
come to Reggae Lane, they're talking about you too.
How
Because
so, bro?
you live this.
How
You're
so,
part of
bro?
all, we are all a part of all of this. Reggae Lane, they're paying homage to me. I've been here for 30, 40 years with reggae. So have you.
Why give us a
They
crack
didn't give us
alley
nothing.
and a blowjob lane?
They didn't give us nothing. That's what you want to see. I believe reggae music has a greater purpose to turn that laneway into something powerful. They didn't know what they did. Forgive them for they know not what they do.
Okay, I can see it because here it is. Some people might think that I'm so vociferous about this that I don't involve in anything. You invited me for the emperor, and you know I don't believe in emperors. Emperor Selassie's birthday last July.
Yes.
Didn't I come down there and participate in your stuff at
Well,
Reggae Lane?
it was an open invitation to anyone, but thank you for accepting it.
Come on, brother. You called me, you text me, you invited me. It wasn't just a one-off thing with me. You know I'm in the neighborhood and that I would enhance your situation. And that I was down with it.
You know what I'm grateful for? The people watching this, they can tell which one of us chat the F-ray and which one of us isn't, but go ahead, bro. Anyway, you were there, which is beautiful.
Exactly. So
thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And then, so that in itself also, I wanted to point out to the world, the place where they painted a mural of Canadian reggae artists, included the face of His Majesty, smells like stale pee 7 days a week, unless it rains. But even then it still smells. Even then it still smells.
Dig.
So I took it upon myself because as a defender of His Majesty through Rastafari, as a defender of reggae music, it is my job to teach a boy how to treat me. And then not treat me proper.
Good luck with that.
No, bro, you don't understand. There's no luck with this thing in a Rasta. Reggae music don't need luck. Reggae don't care about them. Reggae does what it does. Reggae has traveled the globe a billion times around, got into places where you'd never expect it to. And people from all kinds of cultures are growing locks, and people are like, wow, from this little tiny island, these things are occurring. Reggae music's impact is even beyond that of Jamaica or Jamaicans. It's, even though that's the base of it. Right now, reggae don't care what anybody has said. Reggae just do what it do.
And reggae will take
reggae soldiers from Toronto and Canada and around the world will come down to reggae and I say, this is not do with reggae. Well, they can't do that. We're not accepting it.
Reggae will take anything thrown at them, because I'm saying that I thought that Reggae Lane was a bit disrespectful. So you will take disrespect and make it into thing. You're like one of them hip young buds saying that we will use the word nigger and make it our own. Fuck you, nigger. You know what I mean? So you will take the piss smell of Reggae Lane, the $10 blowjobs and the crack alley, and you say, you know what? That is Reggae Lane. Because, you know, a lot of people hear about Reggae Lane and they don't know what Reggae Lane looks like. And if you give me a chance, I might actually get a clip to show the people what Reggae Lane looks like. Now, you were in there.
I don't hide it.
You were in there. You were in there also.
I don't hide what Reggae Lane looks like, but also I was.
But you never said it though.
I am one of those people who rehearsed on Reggae Lane with my band Ibadan back in the day. So the laneway has its own history for me personally.
Yes.
So I can't have you tell me what my history is. No boy can't tell me my history. No guy can't tell you your history.
No.
Right. So I'm telling you, I was on Reggae Lane. I, Julian King, I'm proud of that $2 whore crack lane. Because my energy for reggae music will elevate this thing beyond what these, because the people who named it don't understand it. You cannot put reggae in your mouth and you know understand what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Reggae is supposed to uplift and help and elevate people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's going to do. And I'm not joining anybody's groups. I'm not doing anything. Reggae Lane, I'm just doing on my own. And I don't own Reggae Lane. Anybody can go down there. It don't belong to me.
Because afterwards, some people might say that you then try to capitalize on it. So you have your Reggae Lane
The crabs
Facebook page.
The crabs would say that because any black man going after a business is considered a crab.
Why?
Because they didn't think of it themselves. I get it, but it's okay. I'm used to crabs, bro. I'm used to crabs.
What was the impetus though for you to start that business of yours about Reggae Lane? T-shirts and all of this.
Right on. You say care to know the truth, Dr. Clifton?
That's why I asked a question, brother. I'm about the truth, baby. Can you handle the truth? You can't handle the truth, can you?
I will try my best. So
Hold on, you're sweating. You're sweating already.
Yeah. I'm on the hot seat. So I said to the colonizer who told me that he couldn't and would not subsidize the time and effort that some of us on the committee were putting into it. So I said, you know what? I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
The creative marketer that I am, you see.
Yep, absolutely.
Right on. So design this logo. I had a friend of mine finish off the design for me. I drew what I wanted and he finished it up nice and clean for me. And that was the initial design of what you see the Reggae Lane thing look like.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it to a meeting with these people. No, I emailed them, which I still have the emails, thankfully, to say, hey, why don't you do merchandising? And the money that the t-shirts make, we donate to Reggae Lane.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
Months went by. Nada. So I contacted the dude again. And then I was met with somebody else. And that somebody else, realizing the possibilities of merchandising, tried to own it first. I wasn't about to allow to let that one happen.
Yeah, I can dig.
Yeah. So we went and we registered Reggae Lane as a merchant. And now anybody can do Reggae Lane logo. Anybody can do a Reggae Lane logo. I can't fight nobody who wants to do it. But I saw it as an opportunity to give back to the reggae community, which it now is kind of doing, and which it will do more in the future.
We hope so.
But yeah, I own it. I own it.
Personally.
Nobody, no guy, colonizer dude owns it.
I fool you something.
I feel my thing.
Mm-hmm. Tell me something though about three other characters about Reggae Lane, and we can move on to something afterwards. Jay Douglas and my man Devin Horton and Councillor Josh Cole at the time. You interacted with them. What was your assessment of their play in the groove at the time?
I like how you try to throw these people under the bus. It's like you just throw the lob.
Hold on. No.
I got the bat. And you're going to what? You know, that's not gonna happen, bro.
Hold on. Be not throw nobody under the bus. I'm asking questions.
Certain names you call there, you know full well what you're doing. And I'm not
I'm trying to let the public know that they were involved and what their roles were.
Yeah, well, both Jay and Devin were on the committee with me, and I left, and they continued doing their work. And Josh Cole was the counselor at the time, and what was he? The chair for the TTC.
Mm-hmm.
And worked very closely with the TTC and Metrolink.
But do you remember my question though? I didn't ask you I know you're good with bios. You just gave me their bios.
Yeah. You're not getting any more than that.
But that
I have no. If I, you know, it go already. Sometimes, like Jay Douglas is good to me. You know what I mean? Am I good people to me? Devin Houghton,
I love those two brothers. I love those two brothers.
Yeah. So I don't. There's not to be said there. And as to And as to the politician, politicians are politicians, man. And they pissed me the fuck off. So I decided to say, you know something? This reggae is my thing. Politicking is yours.
I hear that, and you say that mantra when you try to avoid answering some questions.
No, I'm trying to bring you back to the real, because I know sometimes it's hard to move your head. Reggae is my focus. So instead of me deciding to focus on somebody else and what they do, I'm doing me, bro. And I keep doing it.
I think that's highly insufficient as an answer, but I'll leave it at that. I want to say and give you props, Julian. I met you, I believe, our first bunch of interactions was when I was emceeing a regular show at Club Epiphany, and you were managing Ibadan. After that, I've seen you set up a whole bunch of things around the town. Club 2424 Espadina and College, Waterfalls in Kensington Market, the Remix Club. That place was nice, man, with Iwater and Truths and Rights and so on. And you've done a whole bunch of jobs. You've got the Canadian Reggae World, and you are the granddada, the father of reggae music champion in this country. Why, brother?
I think it's actually known as Don Dada.
Dig.
Which is the daddy of the Don. Yeah, and I'm proud of it. Yes, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Why? So reggae does what it does. Like I said, sometimes I literally don't plan to be doing this thing or that thing tomorrow morning.
Can I interrupt just a moment? Your volume is still a little bit off. I mean, I can hear you, but it doesn't seem to be up at its optimum. Is there a way for you maybe turn the volume up?
I had my air conditioning going on behind me, so the ambient noise might have messed with you.
Okay, go ahead though. You were saying that you're the Don Dada of the groove.
Yeah.
If you may say so yourself.
Exactly correct. Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up. Reggae music just does what it does. Some people play it, some people play instruments, some people sing it, some people dub poets, blah, blah, blah. My thing is just to promote reggae music. I love talent and I love reggae music. Reggae music, I think it's like a language all its own. You see, and to me and to the fan base that I work with, it feels like that. So it's easy to work towards something that gives back to me constantly, because we're not making billions of dollars. So there's something about this reggae thing. But even when I was working with the TTC, all that stuff, I was still working 2-3 nights a week on reggae music, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a vibe, man. It's like, this is what you were born to do, what you're doing. This is what I was born to do.
And Julian, a lot of Jamaicans, right, would lie to us and say they know Bob Marley. They used to see Bob Marley walk into the studio to rehearse and so on. So, but you actually not knew Bob Marley as such, but you played with Bob Marley because you're a badass soccer player too. Tell me about your interaction with
You're
Bob
a badass
Marley.
soccer player. Yeah, you see you know, when my friends see this and hear you tell me about me some badass soccer player, watch the cussing I'm gonna take. Thanks a lot. Anyway.
Or I should say football, because that's what we call it. Then, right?
Yeah, it's definitely football. So it only happened a couple times when I was up at a man called Herman King. You hear me talk about Woody King? He was my uncle, my father's brother. So Woody spent a whole heap of time with me because my father really wasn't there. So he had a team of his own. And on his team was Alan Skillpole, who was Bob Marley's closest friend at the time, and also the manager, and the only manager the Wailers ever had.
Didn't know that.
Even when Bob Marley went off and did his own thing, when they booked the show, I think even a couple of years after Bob Marley had done his thing with the Wailers, with Peter and Bonnie, it's Alan who negotiated those contracts.
But hold on, there was another dude they had though. I think he was also the manager of Johnny Nash that pilfered Don something that stole a lot of money from them.
Yeah, I know you're talking about, but we can't remember him right.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, him. But that was done. That was
afterwards.
That was way after. So, Alan was Jamaica's best football player ever, in my opinion.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I played on a team called Santos. I was playing under 14 till I was under 16 as well. He was Jamaica's greatest player. He was playing for the senior team.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like my uncle's captain of his team that he had. And Bob came and played twice. And then, of course, sometimes the man of my bun chalice in the room. So at 14 years old, somebody just
young boy, go out, move, go along.
And I have to sit down outside on that tree and deal with the sun. Well, I could eat food though, because the man can cook some good food too.
Mm-hmm.
They used to then can run a boat where they must make some whole heap of food, right? So, but then if he was alive and well and saw me today and would know me. So I was only a little picnic, right?
Yeah.
But those people also were influenced by past, I believe. Because when I came to Canada, I didn't realize I was doing pretty much the same work my uncle was doing in Jamaica when I was a little picnic. Uncle Herman was very instrumental with the Folks Brothers, Count Ozzy, Carolina.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Count Ozzy and the Mystic Revelations of Rastafari.
And him, and
seminal
him,
band.
Him bring that to the radio. That was the first time a Naya Bengi tune ever played on mainstream radio in Jamaica.
Wow. So
there's a lot. So those people are my mentors. And so reggae music, I think, is also part of that deep culture as well. Plus football.
So you were working at the TTC full time for a while there at least, but
13 years.
You were still get there. And when I intercepted with you, you were the manager of Ibadan. Tell me about all of that.
Man, you know what? Good call. So Ibadan is just my brethren them have a band.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't working with the TTC initially. I was working at the Hudson Bay Company that used to be Simpsons, turned into the Bay at Queen Street.
Yep.
So I was one of those brothers in the Armani and the Hugo Boss suits and management. Yeah, for real.
That's a good gig, baby. And you get to dress up every day.
Let me digress the story before I even get to Ibadan. So I was there in retail and I figured, with hard work, I can make this, and I did. I rose far up in a short space of time, assistant sales manager for the entire 5th and 6th floor. If you remember what the Queen Street store looked like, that's furniture and
I love to go on them escalators back in the day, baby.
Bro, so 2 floors I was the assistant manager for. Young black man, I think I was one of 3 of us in the country, right?
Nice.
And so I love sporting goods, and I wanted to learn to be a buyer, because I definitely wanted to make contact with Adidas, Reebok, Nike, all those brands.
All of the big time players.
All the players. So even if I left in the Bay, I would have a vibe into sports, right?
Mm.
I was like a shoe-in for the job. Then I was told by the grapevine, I think the president at the time was a man called Bob Peters.
He's got 2 first names, Bob Peters.
Bob Peters, right? And him never too love me.
Mm.
And the boy that tells somebody he didn't know would come back to me saying that I didn't have the right look. Because if you're gonna be a buyer, I have to be shopping in the Orient for those things, right?
And your ugly face didn't really help you, did it?
No, it didn't. My ugliness really messed up my opportunity to be a buyer. I would have been killing at it too, right? So what happened was I learned I learned that I was a good marketer. I learned that I was natural at marketing.
Dig.
So when my brethren come and ask me to manage the band, I'm like, yeah, man, I'd love to do this. So we went on a vibe and then hooked up with Jones and Jones, and we did all the shows and the live gigs. And the reason I brought up the Ibadan thing, because I'm coming to you now, because the people Clifton has a reputation and all, but so when we came to Club Epiphany, I didn't really know, I knew of you, but we didn't know each other.
Did.
So we hooked up at that time, and you were giving, let the audience understand, you were doing at least a 10 to 15 monologues in between before the DJ spin. When the DJ stopped between the band, Clifton gets his 15 minutes, and the band goes on a break. Clifton gets however long the band breaks for. And so I came in at a point where I think it was at the end of the second set, into the end of the first set, into the second set, and you were doing like a stand-up routine. And each joke was worse than the one before it. Yeah. And that's how you were laughing at the end of each of your horrible jokes. And a room full of Jamaicans, pure bad boy. And a Thursday night, I'm standing there looking at you like this, like,
exactly.
Yo,
dude,
somebody shoot him the bridge.
Dick, look,
So I am standing and wait. The worst part is I am standing there killing myself laughing, not from your stupid ass joke, but at the fact that you are killing yourself. And I'm like, this bridge is nothing that can phase this dude. Bridget, a room full of not very, because some of the man them never really want. If they thought Ibadan was a little uptown band and there's no way we would come in and perform at Epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
And just because they thought that some places would have go, but because they said that shit, we showed up and showed out. And we blazed up Epiphany that night to the point, and then that's why, and then I killed myself after, because after the show, you get on stage and you're fanning the stage and screaming and like, this stage is on fire. Ibadan blew this motherfucker. And you're just going. And I was like, yeah, we did blow that up. You did.
That night you all were smoking. The band was
and we were getting no reception from that audience. Everybody sees stuff.
Exactly, because look here. Here is the Epiphany thing back in the day. You see my thing there?
Yeah.
Heineken in your thing and your
yeah.
And of course, you're going to the bathroom. There's 15 men and Lady Shabba in the bathroom.
Cool, man.
All right, cool.
People hear that story, I know what you are talking about today. So that was cool. See? And at the end of the day, it was the only place most of us could go to get the music we needed.
It was fine. And Phyllis James, the proprietor, I give it props to Phyllis. And of course, my man who ran the gig, who actually hired me, Dennis, the son of one of the Scatterlights players. He was the guy who hired me.
I was gonna ask you, there was somebody else. It's Dennis. Dennis is the son of what's a big trumpet player, one of the big trumpet players from our trombone players from the Scatterlights. Yeah, I kind of it's ringing a bell, bro. Yeah.
Nonetheless, but Julian, you went on from that and you did about 5 or 6 other great interventions where you platform for up and coming musicians and stuff.
Understand, man. Reggae music, I believe, must be played by instruments, And that's how it started, and that's how it elevated in many ways. And if it's going to elevate even further, I do believe we should get instruments in the hands of Jamaican children, because there's something about that place when it comes to innovation and willingness to be different and create a different sound away from what is happening. Jamaicans have always done this. So, even so, I love DJ music. I love DJ. I love our farm, reggae in our farm.
Hey,
I love live. I love live.
Let me interrupt you just for a moment. He died in 1998. We were trying to remember Rolando Alfonso. That was
Alphonse.
Dennis's father from the
Okay.
Satellites. And Dennis is a guy who hired me at
And he
at
was the
Club
one who
Epiphany.
reached out to me and Ibadan, but I can't remember his face.
Dennis Alfonso.
Because I don't remember the man's face, but no, it's true because I was going to say to you earlier. I remember there was somebody else. Who was it? And I know you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
So you
I
and
like live music a lot.
Mhm.
The first time I saw a live band was Third World at Race Course, which was right opposite my high school in Jamaica. And I also saw Bob Marley and the Wailers. They just showed up at Race Course, plugged in, and started playing at about midday. And by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Race Course was packed.
I can imagine.
So that energy, Rasta, I tell you, man, I was 14 years old when I heard King Tubby speakers at the arena in Jamaica.
You saw you hung out with King Tubby and shit
I
too?
didn't hang out with him. They were stringing it
I mean,
up.
but you were there.
But my Uncle Herman knew these. I was a picnic. I never know these people.
Dig.
When they started to play, they start with a dub and the big speaker box. And you stand up in front of them things, King.
Oh gosh, I have here in town.
We all have, bro. And I'm telling you, man, that was my first time. So I knew somehow this is what I'd be doing for the rest of my days. This is what I was here for.
So so you're into Toronto now. So for instance, you dealt with, and then at some point you finished with Ibadan, hopefully on good terms. Then you had to move on. You had to move on, and okay, so you had a band, then you didn't have a band.
Ibadan started to change personnel, change direction. It wasn't what we gave it a good run in the 90s. We wrote albums, we performed everywhere. We performed with the Philosopher Kings, Sky Diggers, the Mahones, Bare Naked
some
Ladies.
quintessential Toronto and Canadian bands.
On the same bill, bro. When they were coming up.
Yes.
But we realized we wasn't gonna get what they was getting. So Peter and the dudes just continued playing gigs here and there. But it wasn't, we realized for us, and that's when I started Canadian Reggae World.
Okay.
Because the Bamboo was closing, or the Bamboo closed in like 2002. But there were all these rumors and business around early 2000. I don't remember exactly how it all went down anymore.
And the Bamboo was the major place for reggae on Queen Street, right?
Right on. And basically when the Bamboo closed and Much Music died, the reggae culture in this city took a heavy hit. So and its earning power diminished heavily. With the exception of Jones and Jones show, there wasn't places to go play and make a couple of grand or 1,500 or whatever it was the Bamboo would show up with on a Friday night or a Saturday night. And those things were instrumental in paying expenses for studio time and them thing there. We were really into the game. We didn't realize that the Canadian game didn't include us. It took us a minute to figure that out. So I started to branch out, promote Canadian Reggae World as a conduit for reggae music to and out of Canada. So I have connections with people here and Germany and Africa and you name it, just from reggae. And then I was able to start putting other Canadian reggae artists out there. And some of them doing it on their own anyway too. Like we have a lot of good talent, but we don't have a infrastructure to create an industry. We have a culture, but we do have an industry.
I can dig that. Stick a pin in that for a moment because we hopefully we'll get back to some of those stuff. But tell me though, just the exigencies of you sourcing out a club, like for instance, Waterfall or Club 242 or Remix Lounge on Dundas West,
every one of them has a different story, King.
Yeah.
But
But for you, how did you source these venues out, and what was your negotiation points was? Because a lot of times clubs were giving you the door, and they'd get the bar. And we used to say, I hope they have a gold door so you can take that shit off when you're leaving. Because a lot of times, if you don't get
anybody who does what I do, a weekly thing or whatever over the years, figured out very early that you ain't doing this shit for money.
Excuse me? You didn't tell your musicians that.
I told people they're getting paid by the door. If the door make $20, everybody share the $20. Sometimes, fortunately, when we had bands and DJs, good DJs in a band, we made enough to pay everybody. But sometimes me and my door girl, Kylie, went home with no money. Many nights.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody holding down a weekly vibe, I give you props.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a lot more work than it seems. But I do it because I always want a place to go sit down and listen to reggae music. I liked it when people came in from out of town to any of my Lions Den and come and sit in. All the venues came to me literally from even mostly contacts in the community. A man come to me and say, yo, Thursday night at Indian Motorcycle. This man.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I forgot about that club.
There you go. So a man come to me and said they're doing Bob Marley every Thursday night, but the crowds are dwindling because, it's Bob Marley every week and it's mostly the same song. So, they started to struggle. So the person went to the brethren that was running it, a man named Fuss Cooper, who had the license for Indian Motorcycle, and then gave it up, and then had his own original motorcycle. So this brethren brought me in, and I say, here's what I need for a budget for the band. Back in those days, club owners were making some money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he wrote checks to the names of every person I gave him that was going to perform that night.
You're joking. Wow. Sweet.
Not once did a check bounce.
Oh, I was just about to ask you that. What about the bounceability of those checks? Because a lot of times,
or if something happened, there's a time something did crisscross. The very next day, checks were reissued and everybody was paid, like immediate. So big up to my brethren, Fuss Cooper, for that. And
nice, right on.
That Thursday night was killer, bro. Almost every band that was performing at that time came to jam at Indian Motorcycle.
And got paid.
Everybody got paid, bro. Everybody got paid.
So of course.
But some nights people don't get paid.
Yes, of course.
I have dead nights, and my people look at me and go, "See you next week, boss man," and they come back next week, even if they didn't make any money, not even that gas money they make that week.
What was what considerations did you go into for yourself for where, in terms of location, and what clubs you got involved with? Like, for instance, Waterfalls in Kensington Market, in that college.
Waterfalls was because what about DJ at the Lions Den, Zygot, the dude from Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
He had been a part of a gig there, and then came back to me and said, "Yo," because we had to move the Lions Den like 5 or 6 times. Everywhere we go, we get kicked out there.
At least 5 or 6 times.
We get kicked out there everywhere we go.
Why was that though? Because I know, for instance, club owners used to complain that the dudes in them, they're not drinking enough beer. Because you go there, you smoke 2 spliff, and you just have 2 beer all night. So the liquor.
A lot of reggae people, black or white, smoking weed or not, don't really get drunk. They would drink a 1, 2.
Dig.
right? At the height of the Lions, then we were fortunate to get some people who came in who were drinkers.
Mhm.
So the Monday nights, yeah, the Monday nights were kicking to the point where when we're at the Ossington, our Monday nights were almost rivaling their Friday and Saturday night.
Mhm.
And then in a lot of the other places we went to after that, Rivoli, shit, Orbit Room.
The Horseshoe Tavern. Well,
We
you
did
probably
one.
need the Horseshoe.
We did one gig at the Horseshoe, only one.
And I know
Because
you
they
wouldn't
get
do the Cameron because y'all would fill up the stage and not make no money at the Cameron.
yeah. But even with all those gigs, we didn't make no big money. My vibe was to find a place in the city that now that the Bamboo is no more for people to see. Some people, as you know full well, can just used to come to the Bamboo to have dinner, feel
Oh
the
yeah,
atmosphere, and
they
listen
had
to
good
reggae
food.
music.
I must say they had good food. At least I liked
Yeah,
it.
man. So I tried to keep that energy because nobody else is doing it.
Mm. What was the role of media, Black Caribbean media, and more specifically, tell it the truth, talk about campus community radio, CKLN, CHRY, CIUT, in your ability then to get the word out at the time? What was your media strategy, and which outfits did you deal with? I hope you dealt with my 88.1 and only CKLN.
No. Of course not. Of course not. There was a time
Excuse me.
when there
Take
was
this.
a time.
Take
Yeah,
this.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Take this.
I'm closing my eyes. I can't see you right now.
Big.
So
Hey, here it is. Here it is. Open your eyes.
yeah,
Here it is.
I can't see you. It's cataract. So
All right.
it was a given if you could pay the liquor $25 and $75 if you didn't know certain things about the station, and you could get your gig on our free station, you are guaranteed to sell out.
I'm telling you, man.
You know, if you got on CIUT, CHRY, and CKLN, and what was Dermot on?
Dermot was on there's a Portuguese studio at Dundas, east of Ossington there.
Dermot had a vibe where if some of his people knew, they'd come to your show.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew the channels. Plus, back in those days, people forget a lot of things, you know.
Of course, because look, Dermot Williams, I used to parrot Dermot Williams. This is Dermot Williams on CH something. You can't get three quarters, 2 dimes and a nickel from me. And he had all these little things that I picked up and pimped relentlessly over the years.
Dermot was good people star. So I knew.
Big up Dermot Williams, baby. Dermot Williams, baby. Go ahead.
Yes, I. So I knew those things were helpful. Plus, also, people don't remember, man. Back in the day, you could buy phone numbers from Bell.
Buy?
You could get phone numbers.
Okay.
And text people messages, or give, or they would give I say, you know, Ibadan will be at the Bamboo this coming Friday, and you could get it out to like 2,000 people.
Mm.
When you forget this, you could get people listening and leave messages, because Bell used to do it to everybody, so we bought lists.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, back in them days, I had an email list of like, I don't know, between 2,000 to 3,000 people.
Wow, that was gold then, baby. It's gold now.
Yes, sir.
By the way, before I forget, I actually ended up one summer working with Dermot Williams at a place called Pilkington Glass, all the way at Kiel and Highway 7.
Yeah.
So I got to actually know Dermot personally after knowing him as a personality.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you.
And he was good people?
Oh, pardon?
Was he good people?
Excellent people. A very humble brother.
I never met him.
Humble brother, because a lot of them radio guys from those early days, like him, Junior Chung, Willie D, and so on, they used to buy time at stations and then sell ads, right?
Yes.
Them cats used to drive to Buffalo to get records when, remember when they were the import albums here that you had to pay extra money for at Sam's and so on? Sam's recommend. Them brothers used to drive to.
Every Cameo album, Early Parliament, all those albums were premium albums, man. That was something else.
I'm telling you.
BLK was the shit.
Absolutely. Chucky D in the morning, baby. Quiet Storm in the evening.
Yeah, but that's all part of your reggae culture too, King. I'm just not allowing.
Hold on. Everything is reggae?
Everything. All
Come
apple,
on.
banana, pumpkin, all that are reggae.
So you have done, I got to give you props, brother. You have done tremendous work in nurturing talent, providing a framework and a venues for people to perform, also writing about it, not just in CanadianReggaeWorld.com, but writing for a number of magazines around town, reggae magazines, reggae exclusive prominently. And you've been all over the place, boo. So you actually are someone who have found relentless ways of making sure the music has a profile, the musicians have a profile, you big them up on Facebook and social media and so on, and you are out there.
But when I big them up, let me ask you something. Do you find some of these people talented?
Of course.
Right on.
We've got a lot of talent.
So so how come we always waiting for somebody else to tell us? I'm done waiting for these people to tell me what I already know. That's what I figured out with Ibadan, was that when as an artist, when you arrive, right? There's certain moments in your career. One of them was, I am a manager of the band, Brenton. We're doing a gig opening for Gregory Isaacs. They had like 3 different bands. One was Tweet Sensation, the other was Fugitive, and the other was Ibadan.
Sweet Sensation, of course, was one of 2 all-female reggae bands at the time.
Right
Sweet Sensation, sir. And we run things. What do you call it? Gala run things.
Women are run things.
Women run things. Yes.
Right. And when I said big up to both them, both those bands, I was going
absolutely, baby.
I was going to many shows during them days, working jobs in the daytime and going to their shows at night, and we had great energy, especially with Sweet Sensation. Big up Shy Brown, big up Sadie. What be the name again? Damn. Anyway.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sweet Sensation tore up the show. They really did a good job.
My girl Coco Brown was with one of those.
Coco Brown was on keyboard.
Yeah.
Byron was the only male in the band. He was either on keys or on guitar, or sometimes bass, but mostly guitar for them. And big up Mr. Byron, rest in peace.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, from Barbuda, Antigua and Barbuda, Byron, I didn't realize afterwards that Byron is actually, rest in peace, Barbuda.
Yeah, man. So
go ahead, though.
It was good. So then Ibadan came on second and did a fire set. So Alan and Dennis made it clear that as soon as you finish the last note of the last song in your set, we need you guys to pull your stuff and get off the stage so the next band can rush on.
I can't say I blame them. From Jones and Jones, Alan and Denise from Jones and Jones Productions, at the time the biggest reggae promoters in the country.
Right on. And the Opera House is packed and they're here for Gregory.
Dig.
That's the man them play a set is a king. And when Ibadan hit the last note, boom, the Opera House erupted.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk out, the stage at Opera House.
Yeah, and they got that big ass drop there in the front there where people could dance by the stage.
So I come back from backstage and walking out, trying to grab Edwin's keyboards that he's unplugging to put in the bags and doing all the things we're doing so we can make room for the next band. And the Opera House, we don't notice that they're not stopping.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Noise. So
encore, baby, encore.
So Alan Jones runs out. Wow, no one more Ibadan. Clifton, me and the members of the band, and when he turns around to look at us, we're standing in front of him with cords and shit in our hands. Like, you told us to get off the stage, bro.
Yes, yeah.
Those people waited for us to plug back in and play an encore track.
Nice.
And gave us the same resounding ovation. That's when I knew Ibadan could do it. That's when I knew we had an international feel now, because nobody wants to know a local band when Gregory come up next, King.
Of course.
Encore? Get off the stage.
Most of the people there just to see Gregory, they're tolerating whoever come before him.
They're tolerating you at best. The man them call for encore. I make noise after the encore. And I said to the band after, I said, yo, Bridges, I have been in this a while, man. I've seen people, I've seen great bands, I've seen a lot of things. So you guys can do this. But I don't know if we said it, but I don't know if we was really ready to go tour and all them thing there. Because that's not really well facilitated here in Canada anyway.
It's a tough gig because it's a big ass country, and it's not like America where you bump into the towns everywhere. Try to drive to Halifax, Nova Scotia from Toronto, let's say. Good luck with that.
Well, Gigi and some of the dudes gave me what I'm saying, parcel and receipts. Because they go west and back and out west and around and back and go all the way out to PEI and Newfoundland, Belgium. Them man for the whole of Canada, you know.
Yeah, it's a rough game. It's not an easy gig, baby.
Bro. So we have stalwart people who have committed well to reggae music. If I want to elevate the thing, it's on me. Me can't wait for no politician, or no Antiguan, or no Barbuda. Me no wait for Jamaican.
Since you say that, Julian, I gotta jump on your case because, of course, you've done a lot of work, a lot of positive work. But you know something I like about you?
Go ahead.
You know something I like about you? You sometimes get into this thing where you get this persecution complex. Two things. One of it is that I'm the only one concerned about reggae music in Canada, and me alone. Nobody else love reggae music but me. Me the best thing and the thing and thing. Secondary, you come with this thing, oh, woe is me. Woe is me. Oh gosh, what are you doing about this? We don't do this and so on. Why you get into this thing, this self-flagellation sometime, boy? I mean, I like that about you.
What's that word, Sanjay?
Oh, you got me on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Flagellation.
Flagellate, what?
You know, them religious guys who beat themselves and so on.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes,
okay.
sometimes
Thank
you doth.
I don't get the word, but I know my audience don't get it either. But okay.
Sometimes you doth protest too much, brother.
Okay, well, all right. So you done talk? Can I speak?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The people who know me know all of what you just said is fuckery. You know how them know it's fuckery? Because no matter who is doing what, my history that you just repeated tells you I still keep doing my own shit, no matter what anybody's doing. But if you don't like me, or you do like me, I'm still doing me.
Sometimes men like you.
Men like you not time. Men like you not time.
Boy, sometimes men like you for true, Julian. I have to confess. Sometimes I can't stand you.
I know, and you know what? I checked every pocket. I couldn't find any fucks in it. I don't know what happened.
But look, I know.
What do you think happened?
I know
I
you.
don't know.
I know you don't like me too. I know you don't like me too sometimes, brother. Tell me why. What about me that pissed you off, brother?
I realized to myself, it's not that I don't like you. Well, I don't like you. Yeah, sorry. But I you. Yeah,
the feeling is mutual, brother. The feeling is mutual.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. But the thing is, you come from the old school of sensationalizing things. Sensationalizing the news. You're the kind of guy who picks out keywords to make a statement But if the whole words were said, you'd realize that's not what was meant. But you choose words to make them sound like you need the thing to sound like. So I let you go because, like, you know, so I see you, like, okay, for instance, you're on this tirade today about Mark and Jem.
Oh yeah, and G98.7 is Asian-owned black station in Toronto, G98.7 FM. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about that?
So you're beating up on them like them have a choice in mainstream radio. This isn't community radio where you can bring what you want and play what you want. This is mainstream radio that is listened to by the CRTC, a license that was given to Fitzroy Gordon by one of the most racist, openly racist prime ministers in Stephen Harper.
Of course, absolutely.
It's confusing to me. Me, look at you and look at me. Couldn't connect on Facebook tonight because we're deliberately blocked.
That's your point of view, but and I'll check that out. But it seems so on the face of it. Go ahead.
On the face of it, that's what it seems like, because I could connect to everybody else but you.
Dig. Isn't that something? What a thing, eh? What a thing.
Rasta. So I understand. And I tell you, if and when you post this, who knows how long it might stay up there.
Yeah. Hold on. So me and you so dangerous, boy?
I know, man. I don't know about no dangerous. I think we don't talk like the rest of them, brother. Yeah, son. We have a whole heap of people in Canada will come from the Caribbean. And them are really try hard for 15, you know. And them I try to make sure I recognize, which is obvious at this point. If them not pay, we can't work, we can't eat.
Yep. That's the way. That's how they be able to control people sometimes, right?
Right. So this whole reggae vibe for me is part of me trying to create a space that I lived in all my life. So I don't have to ask no question. I don't have to go to school for this reggae thing. I don't have to go to school for marketing. I don't have to go to school for doing live shows. I don't have to go to school for merchandising. I don't have to go to school. I'm doing it all.
Remember though, I asked you about how you so self-flagellating and woe is me and oh God,
I know, but
I'm the
I'm
only one
talking,
doing
see,
things.
But when you talk, you go back to the negative, and I just keep showing you. I don't really spend time on trying to help you with them heap of words you trying to say about me doing blah 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 blah, flagellation. It sounds kind of crude too, flagellation, whatever that is. Anyway, my whole thing my thing is, I don't care.
It sounds like you've been there, boo. It sounds like you've been there.
It sounds like a bit of information I don't want to know anything about, bro. So
hey, have you flagellated lately?
You see, the thing is, the people are watching this, and I answered you before, and I'm gonna answer you again. None of me cares. There were no fucks in the pockets. So when you
flagellated lately?
When you tell me that I was,
have you flagellated lately?
When you tell me I'm sensitive and stuff, I'm just smiling because I'm like, wow, did I just do 3 newsletters last week? Did I just promote some artists that paid me to promote them? Am I still doing reggae every day, no matter what people say?
Okay, let's get serious for a moment. Jermaine Jackson's tune with featuring Stevie Wonder. There've been so many times, right? Especially in the summer times, over the years, over the last decade, for instance, that I say, wow, reggae music is going to drop, bust out in Canada, especially because then, like for instance, we got Irie Music Festival, we got Rastafest, we got Jambana, we got Redemption, and then a whole bunch of other players where
and a million other gigs in Malton, Brampton,
absolutely.
Saga,
So I'm telling you,
Scarborough.
There's some summers there've been so much fucking excellent reggae locally and internationally coming through town there. I thought that wow, it's gonna bust. Then we get to September, and shit goes dark again, radio silence. What was the problem of actually using the momentum to move it to somewhere else?
So, move what? Specifically,
Well, to move the scene, like so that, for instance, that euphoria and that bunch of activity in the
Well,
summertime.
summertime is obviously tourist season, so we pick up a whole heap of Europeans and Americans, right? So the numbers obviously will look different, but
No, but a lot of local musicians got work though. A lot of actual bands who live here got work.
Everybody got work, but nobody. So there's always a lull in every thing. But I will say this much also: there is no reggae industry in Canada. There's a
Explain
reggae
that.
culture.
Explain that.
Nobody can eat. Nobody really are, unless somebody make a big tune. Them can't. None of them are really eat off reggae. When I give you, if I give you a job, the best you can do maybe is go buy, up a dinner and 2 bags of weed. Like when Canadian Music Week and North by Northeast and all these things are going on, them people there get paid,
Of course.
So there's a brother named Mike Tanner who is the head of the music at City Hall.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be the president of North by Northeast. Him knows that he can't chat to me, I guess. Because when I retired from the TTC, I found out meeting with this question. But what he showed me and what I already knew going in, but you're asking the same question here. These people don't give a shit about reggae to have us eat from it. They will give us a laneway. They will give us accolades. They'll make us sing at City Hall. They will put us on an odd thing here and there. But there's no industry being like, you see how Justin Trudeau these days is so black conscious. They decided to give some $4 billion to black businesses. You are admitting that you deliberately were blocking these people anyway, Justin.
Yeah. You're right.
Paint your face as Trudeau. Well, I call him blackface now. From now on, I'm just calling him. When I say blackface, you know who I'm talking about.
When for me, when you hear me say Baby Trudeau, because his claim to fame is that he had a famous father. He ain't shit. So
well,
I call him Baby Trudeau.
You could have had one of 2 famous fathers, though.
What? Up in Fidel? The boy looked like Fidel, though, eh? And the mother was kind of something. She hung out with the Rolling Stones at that famous club in Spadina, and the father was into the weed and so on too. So, boy, you have something.
I don't know these things, but I just say whoever him is, either man. I don't know if either of them would have proud of him still, but here what? These people have no interest in me personally. I tell them to stop trying to give grants and stuff for $4 billion. You got my social insurance number. You got Clifton's. You got Esco Levi and Amoy, and I can give you a bunch of names, right? This coming Friday, send a check for $10,000 to all of these people.
I'll take it. Should I give my address? My mailing address? Or my e-transfer?
Let's give each of you, all of us, 10 grand the 3rd Friday of each month.
I will take it right now, baby. Come on.
And then after the 3rd or 4th year of doing that, don't chat to us. Don't talk to me about anything. When that 5th year is up, maybe then I'll come meet with you.
All right. You're pushing a tough.
I'm not jumping through hoops to your grants and all your bullshit.
And you're pushing a tough game too. Tell you the truth, baby.
I hear you, but that's how That's how I think. That's why I maybe not the kind of person that fits into the boardroom anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people talk about asking for reparations, I'm not asking nobody for none. Me that take it time. I'm creating something else, but we're not asking no boy for none. Let them move on, go.
Let me move to us though, because let me give you something. And I know you might punk out on this. No disrespect to punk rockers, but you know what? A lot of our reggae singers in town can't sing. They have all of the moves, they dress well, and so on. They got the lyrics, but they can't sing, Julian. I MC a lot of shows, and I have to introduce them and big them up. Julian.
Them said, maybe some of the dub poet, them not so good either.
Yeah, of course, and we'll deal with that too, because I believe that too. Some of them the dub poets are full of shite.
Okay, so you might be in the category, but who knows, right?
No, I would be able to argue that. So
everybody have a different taste, right? So anyway, as to the singing thing,
what happens is that I think that
it's not just the guys. Some have some ladies that can't sing.
No, I meant everybody. I didn't isolate the guys. I'm talking about the ladies too.
Yeah. Some of them
in fact,
really.
Tell you the truth, a lot of times the ladies can't sing either. Half of them.
Okay. I wouldn't say half, but
three quarter.
Let me finish on that.
Are you going below half or above half?
I don't want to talk the number right now. I want to address the situation.
You're a diplomat, baby. We're gonna get you to the United Nations.
Here's what I have to say before you cast aspersions in my direction.
All right.
You know what happened, kid? A lot of very talented people here. We said that earlier on, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. In Jamaica, them have a whole heap of talented people, but them have a whole heap of people in Jamaica who can't sing and can't DJ. Whole heap of it.
And they get sifted out though. But what I'm saying is that we don't seem to have a sifting program here.
There was a time in Jamaica where if you was a performer, you're up on stage, and somebody in the audience tell you to come off a stage.
Or throw a buckle at you.
Wait, the buckle come first. Usually somebody tell you to come off a stage. Now, what some of these guys do, unfortunately for them take on the audience. That's when the buckle then going to come. And what me and Rafa Dean used to call it was green rain. Because pure Anakin buckle.
R.I.P. Rafa Dean, baby. Rafa, baby. Go ahead.
That's right. In born the 7th of November, 1959. Born the 21st.
My sister's the 5th of November. Wow.
My name is so have month every year, November our birthday month. And back in the day where the bamboo were gigs all the time, it was nice still. Anyway,
Guy Fawkes night is around that. When that British guy tried to burn the parliament in England, we used to have tires burning in the nights on November 5th, man. Guy Fawkes night in Antigua was a hell of a thing. Burn, baby, burn, motherfucker. Go ahead.
So then now.
We're talking about singers who can't sing.
The man on stage now. The man them start to figure out for themselves when them are sing and them are going in and them in them thing and nobody feel them, you know. The audience start get restless. And then see the drummer starts to duck down behind the bass drum. The drummer no backclack coming and the two guitar and the bass player start spread across the stage because them leave room for him alone to get the buckle them. That testing ground happened in Jamaica, and that testing ground is still kind of that way to this very day. So if some of these people here, them doing it here because them know so they can get away with it. Because nobody has throw backland stone after them.
But they don't really get away with it because here's the thing, live versus tape is a different thing. So for instance, sometimes even me, myself, MCing shows, I'm at the live show and I'm clapping and so on. Then the dude will post the video 2-3 days later. And then I hear how he bucking the notes and can't reach the notes and so on, right? I had an experience because I try to do sometimes some little dibble dabble and some managing and so on, right? So here's the two cases. One, I said to a dude I was working with at the time, I said, you know what, your singing need to be improved. And I have a guy, Falconer Abraham, dude from Dominica, excellent, charge you $80, and you can only do one lesson, he'll set you right. One dude went and he said, man, that was fucking incredible. The second dude, I said to him, you know what, your singing couldn't use a little thing, so I want to try to hook you up with this vocal coach. The boy get upset, Julian. What are you talking about? To this day, he's still singing off key. Why don't some of our singers just take some vocal lessons? And more to the point, why don't people like you, I'm charging you with this, why don't people like you pull them aside and tell them they can't sing?
Why are you giving me so much work all the time, telling me what you think I should and shouldn't do, man? Why don't you mind your own goddamn business and do your business?
No, you say, but you say,
why don't you go and tell them? Why don't you go tell them?
I tell them, you say reggae music is your business. I'm calling you out as a big time hypocrite. And you're actually not, you're loafing on the job. You're not actually doing the job you say you do, brother.
Okay, well, you're out. Okay, you're out.
Who you pull aside and say, you know something, you should take some music lessons, some vocal lessons.
I've actually said that to just about everywhere.
And what's been their response?
Some of them have gone and done it.
But we still have a whole bunch of singers who can't sing in this town, reggae-wise.
Agreed. But when I tell people, say, Barbara Streisand, Mariah Carey, and Celine Dion, all three of those women have voice coaches.
Of course.
That's
I'm not surprised.
Voices, arguably, anybody will ever hear are those three ladies, right? And
mind you, I have a bunch of others to throw in there, but let's go.
Me too. I could bring.
Go ahead.
But I'm just saying, those three ladies were high-selling, recording artists of great renown, and all three of them people have voice coaches.
Yes.
Patti LaBelle, Luther Vandross.
Oh gosh, I would suck all kind of things on Patti LaBelle.
Michael Jackson had voice coaches. And if those people had voice coaches, why don't you?
Yes.
And all of the people them out there, so them are artists and things. The thing is, I don't get angry at them as much as I used to, because it's like me. I can actually draw illustration.
Okay.
Now,
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, man.
I don't see it in your I don't see it in your profile and your characterization and how you look. But go ahead. You might just be embellishing shit just now. Next thing you're gonna tell me is that you wrote a book or something.
Oh my God! I went there.
Next thing you're gonna tell me you wrote a book. Oh yeah. Hey, bring it back. Bring that back so I can see. I didn't see it.
I will in a minute. But
okay, as you were saying.
No, it's like the point is, just because you write a book, Bean says it's gonna sell 1 million copies, because it didn't. But did I enjoy the process? Did I tell my story the way I wanted to? Did I express myself? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And I got some nice feedback from a bunch of people who knew me and some who didn't know me. Like total strangers were like, yo, this thing really moved me, And when you get that, you kind of like, okay, I can take them things that, okay, I can build on this, okay? Now, as an artist, singer, guitar player, no guitar player gets great without playing 1,000 hours a day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So some of them are gonna go
practice, baby, practice. Not like Allen Iverson said. You talk about practice.
That's too hard. Well, that's not what Alan meant. So stop saying that story, man.
No, hold on, no. No. What did Alan meant? What did Alan mean? I thought that he was saying that
Alan
you know what?
Iverson had a death in his family, which he knew the reporter knew about. A Brian Bridgen get gunned down. And he was like, at this time in my life, you talking to me about practice, I just lost my brother. He just didn't bring that other part out. And so mainstream media, which is like you, sensationalization of bullshit, all you all heard was practice. He just lost one of his boys. You don't want to hear about practice. You don't even want to hear about basketball when somebody real close to you goes, man. You know.
Dig. And even if you took it the other way, that you said a lot of bullshitters like me did, is that a superstar like Allen Iverson, who can cross over, he was the biggest proponent of the crossover, that he don't need to practice like 10.
But here's where I know you probably weren't much of an athlete. So let me help you with something. When that guy 160 pounds drops it on the NBA every single night, where people like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and other people are telling you this man was a problem. You know, if you got a problem, he the answer. At 6'1",
Dig.
and dunking over people every
Absolutely.
night. But you saw that performance.
He was the answer.
And want to tell you that he doesn't practice, he doesn't get that good or that great without work.
Tell me something though. Tell me something.
Yeah.
Since we're on that, the difference between my boy Vince Carter, our first big superstar for the Toronto Raptors, versus Kobe. They both were there at one point. It was almost between the two of them, right? And Kobe would relentlessly practice over the off season, and Vince would party. Could Vince Carter have been much better of a superstar if he had the kind of regimen of practice that Kobe did?
So again, I will from my experience, Kobe Bryant was a psycho. So
A psycho?
Everybody around him will tell you that. Everybody.
Yeah. Because he had
even Michael will tell you this boy was a psycho.
Because
so was Michael. So they understand
Kobe,
the
just to say this, Kobe, some teammates couldn't talk to Kobe. It was in their contract. Like, don't talk to me.
So sit down at the end of the bench until I can get somebody who can play basketball.
Dig, go ahead.
You know,
go ahead. As you were saying.
If anybody wants to put in the work that I put in, you know. And when Kobe Bryant speaks of Allen Iverson, for those people who need to get on to YouTube and check that interview. If that practice story is still important to you, you hate the guy. You know, you're an idiot because you don't get that great without putting in the work. Okay, so that practice stuff is just foolishness.
But Dick,
hold on, let me just get back to the singing business, bro. If those three singers we mentioned, and including Patti LaBelle, Luther,
Barbra Streisand, and so on,
if they have voice coaches, why don't you? And if you don't, and you're making music, are they trying to be artists? Are they trying to be recording artists? Is it a hobby? Because most of us, it's a hobby because we all have a full-time job. None of us is eating no food off no music, with the exception of maybe a little bit Blessed and Esco and Kirk Diamond and some of these guys who sell music outside of this country. They have ability to sell on worldwide platforms. We do have people who are doing some stuff, and some of these people are frustrated and angry because they feel like maybe I don't give them more support or help. But that's not my role. My role is reggae. Whatever that umbrella falls under, you might be part of it, but it's still a large umbrella. So my focus is the umbrella, not just the individual pieces. And I'm not one to always, like I would tell you, say, yo, such and such can't sing, them sound like John Crow. And you and I will have that conversation in the parking lot and laugh. But I ain't gonna say that to the dude or girl.
Why not?
It's hurtful.
You got to bleed. You got to pay to get forward, baby. Don't you?
The beautiful thing about the industry is that everything plays out. You mentioned something about Kobe and Vince Carter, and I'll say this to you. Kobe was a complete psycho.
Yes.
Vince Carter, though, for my money, he's one of my favorite people because
mine too, baby. Mine too, sweets.
That dude took a plane to go pick up his diploma, a private jet from one of the owners, earning close to $8 million a year, and trying to send a message. There's a time the NBA used to talk about learn to read business, ain't it?
Yes, yes.
And when a man goes to the extreme effort to do it, the league vilified him for it. Not just Toronto fans, the entire NBA said, focus on what we tell you to focus on. Forget about that education bullshit.
Because the big thing that you're saying there for those people watching who might not know is that Vince against the Philadelphia Sixers in the playoffs took a trip to where was he? To
North Carolina.
North Carolina to get his degree.
To graduate with his class.
Yes, in the middle of the playoff, and he had enough
time to do it. Game. On the day of the 7th game.
Big. So and they said that that's the reason.
To play basketball, you're not paid to go get no diploma.
Big. And he could have made it in the last shot too, because he had that last shot, right?
But they blamed the trip on the shot.
Yes.
He opened an opportunity for them to come and get him, and they did. But I am grateful for Vince Carter for many reasons. One, he put Canada on the map when it pertained to basketball.
Absolutely, baby.
Like when they said Air Canada, when they said Air Canada and Abridjan, like all the way, hearts went up. Like
absolutely, baby.
Air Canada. When he dunked it on you, the world flipped, you know. But at the end of the day, Vince Carter changed the entire night service here in Toronto. He was the one who brought in bottle service and certain things in clubs.
At his nightclub, because Vince had a nightclub that, you're right, introduced bottle service, etc.
And brought all the NBA players who never came to Toronto.
I'm telling you,
and put money in this city like nobody's business.
And
the franchise should have protected them better.
I don't know about you. I partied at Vince's club, baby. I had to go to Vince's club to party. I partied at Vince's club.
I didn't make it. I didn't make that one.
I certainly did.
I used to go. I read a man named Alvin used to run some dances all the time. Some of the most successful dances in Toronto. So one night we're there, and Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, I don't know, a bunch of people came through that night.
Mm.
And the club was about Shepherd and Young.
Wow, look, because them players are partiers, right? Look, you know how many times somebody said to me one game where was it Chris whatever, the ex-New Yorker with Toronto that fucked up the game, but a dude tell me one night he's at Albert's, right, at St. Clair and Vaughan, but 4 a.m, and he looked and he said, wow, this brother is tall. You know who turned out to be? Patrick Ewing. You know, he's a Jamaican, right? Patrick Ewing right there in front of him arguing at
They know what culture. Them man, they came to Toronto and treated Toronto like a home, where a lot of NBA stars never wanted to come here, which is one of the problems. Nobody wants to play in Toronto because they don't want to send their children to school here, and they don't want the money.
Metric and all kind of bullshit.
Blah, blah, blah. Right, but a lot of them don't want to play here. You know,
yeah.
Kawhi Leonard is another athlete that I have great respect for. He told the Toronto fans,
"You got me for a year, baby. You got me for 1 year.
For a year. 1 year. He told you. The only person who kept their word through this whole thing was him. So,
and I don't
give him props. But you know what? You know what I love Vince Carter for the most?
Why?
Vince Carter single-handedly kind of ended the NHL.
Go ahead. Let me hear you.
Dude, you remember when we was watching NBA game on tape delay?
Dude, exactly. You know how many times I had to listen to games on the radio?
When Randy Gradishar and Randy Smith and Bob McAdoo used to play for the
McAdoo from the
Braves.
Buffalo Braves, Bob McAdoo.
We were watching those games.
Good.
And we thought there was something wrong with the TV. Then we realized the lights in the arena were so low we could barely see the game, and we watched NBA games.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So the NBA progressed. We kept petitioning these sports networks who just kept feeding us hockey.
Absolutely. 24 hours a day.
So Air Canada came about, bro. The marketing of the NBA put money in the city of Toronto. And they started to cover a lot more NBA games.
Absolutely.
And I tell you something, a lot of little black and white children all of a sudden didn't give a shit about no hockey.
No, because look, dude, I was
wait, before you go, you see the amount of black children from Canada and white children. Kelly, what's it, Olenek,
yes.
Yeah. You see how many of these kids are playing in the NBA now?
We are the biggest country outside of America playing in the NBA, and we got an excellent team. When we're going in July in Victoria, BC, to qualify for the Olympics, we have a hell of a team if a lot of our players play, because some players don't play. Jamal McGlure never played for us. Andrew Wiggins never played for us. Some of our big guys.
A lot of those guys won't ever play for Canada. You know why that is, brother? And you should understand this.
Racism and contract.
My son Dylan, as you know, was Oakwood Baron.
They dominated the shit for years, the Oakwood Baron.
So his last final year of high school, they won the AFSA championship.
Mm-hmm.
And Dylan was the designated three-point shooter.
Nice. Wow.
Enough man thought he had skill enough to go to possibly even sit on the bench in the NBA as a $2 million
absolutely.
A year deal.
I would take that gig tomorrow afternoon, baby.
Everybody would take that gig. But I tell you this much, brother. I tell you this much. You know what we found out? Because even up to that point, and I hadn't been really paying that much at the time. When you talk about shoes, he played for rec teams and playing with all kinds of different players from around the country, and everything is out of the parents' pocket.
And money's being made by others.
Everybody making money, but they ain't paying no black players and subsidizing the families of children who are playing basketball. So a lot of these kids, like a McGlure and a bunch of these kids, refuse to play for Canada when they made it to the league, because it's like, I'm not gonna risk an injury for these people who never did shit for me.
Dig.
And it's not just McGlure, it's a lot of Canadian players.
No, it's exactly. It goes through from the time till now, and it's still going on right now. Tell you the truth.
Right on, King. So,
Julian, why so much people hate you, boy? Let me intervene in that. I know time is like that. Dude, how much time? I know you don't like me. I know you don't like me a lot of the times or some of the times, but Julian and me don't like you too at some points. But I have, you know, much time you have to defend you, where random guys and girls all over the place see you and they cut you in you and trips in and say, boy, he really enough. That boy enough. That boy enough. Why so much people hate you, boy?
Tell them to check my pocket.
No, that's an imposition. That's a stall.
Because the point is to check my pocket. And like I said earlier, if you see any fucks in it, you can take that. But
no, you know what? I'm not letting you get away with that. I'm being
real with you. Whoever likes. I don't know who loves me and who doesn't love. Well, I know who loves me,
dude. But I'm sure. Look, I go into some joints sometimes, and I look over and I see 5 guys, and know 2 of them just don't like me. I can feel the vibe. You're going to places where you walk
but you can't.
And you slap the hands of the 2 who like you.
I recognize having a so-called strong personality doesn't make you endearing. to people. But I'm not here for that. I'm here to do reggae music, Virgin. How many
But how do
times
you
I
how
keep
do you
saying that?
maneuver that? You're in a club, you're promoting a band, you've been
People don't
part of
come.
the
People who
entourage,
don't like me. Well, okay, wait.
and
Most
and
people
you
who
know that
don't like me don't come to my thing.
no, but you end up at things where it's not your thing. So of course they might not come to your thing because they don't like you. But you're at a neutral event and you go through there and you look to the left,
You
you look to the right, you see
know,
15,
nobody
15 people
bothers
that
me,
like
man.
you.
And nobody bothers me because again,
Dude,
wait, when I'm at the event, like I'm at Sankofa, some
yes.
nights, you know, we're there to photograph and film some events that I show to the rest of the world of some things that I live in Canada.
But you have people there who don't like you and you have to maneuver through them. Some of them you have to talk to. I'm trying to get to you, bro. How
No,
did you
man,
maneuver?
you can't. Again, you're talking about this like and I don't pay enough of these people, King. You know this. You're asking me maybe for tips for yourself because nobody likes you either. But you're looking for tips to get help, but I can't help you with this, bro.
You know what? You're so right. You're so
You know, I heard a joke. I heard a real funny joke, but it's not a joke.
you're
truth.
unwilling to give me any tips. Is that what you're
No
saying?
tips. You're on your own, man. It's like shark infested water. Either you sink or you swim, brother. That's how this works. They say, you know what? Adults ask children what they want to be when they grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why they ask children that?
No.
Because they're still trying to find out for themselves.
Well, okay.
They grew up and they still don't know. They're looking for ideas.
Why people don't like you? Because you're coming to them. They know your history. They know you've done a lot of work with musicians and bands, managed bands. You put on events. Some of them have played on your gigs, but still they're still saying. Still, they're saying that they don't like you when they've profited from your largesse, but they still don't like you. Is there something about your own personality, brother? What is your personality flaw, Julian Prince?
So you speak of my personality flaw. It could be the middle finger. It could be any number of things.
Come on.
And the truth
Come
is,
on.
and I'm being
Come
real.
on.
I'm being real. I'm being utterly real with you. In the early days of Canadian reggae world, when my skin might have been a lot thinner, those things bothered me. But then I realized some of the people when I like you, Clifton, I always tell you, check them resume.
All right.
Them don't know half of what you do.
So they're jealous?
But they want to curse you. So I don't penny them. No, they're not jealous. They just do what it's not whether they're jealous or not. I look at their contribution and I realize that maybe it could be found wanting. You know, it's maybe a man where in 20 years put out a 3-song EP. And I come tell me, say, he want me manage him or want me promoting music.
Stay with the managing, baby. Stay with the managing.
Yo, bro, you know, and I have had people who I have not been a fan of their work. They're the most angry at me. Because I'm not good at powdering. I'm not good at it. So if I don't check for you, you kind of usually know still. So we not really hide the thing, you know, but I don't bring negative to people. Now if a man come up in my face and I deal with the thing, we deal with the thing. But otherwise we don't talk to nobody. Go do what you do because I know me alone now play your music. I know me alone. Why you go Why don't you
exactly.
go contact the CRTC? Why don't you go call the CBC? How many Canadian reggae artists?
Your shit is just not good, baby. That's all. Let's talk about the positive. For instance, I know you're big on Tanya P. And,
are we gonna be talking? Are we gonna be talking all night, bro? Is that what we're doing?
Oh no, we're finishing up here because I want to end on the positive, right? Is that I know
Right.
I want you to elucidate now the positive thrust you see in Canadian reggae. I know recently Tanya P and Molly Bless, her dude, they put together a big live concert and so on. And I know you're big on that. So talk about Tanya P and the other positivities that you see in the Canadian reggae world.
Positivities. I see Tanya P, yeah, but you see, some of you talk to me like Tanya P showed up yesterday and doing what she's doing.
Of course, hold on. I would be remiss if I was to give that impression.
Right.
Tanya P's been around for a long time.
I am saying it.
She's a sister who can actually sing.
Right on.
Go
right
ahead.
On.
Go ahead.
And writes her own music,
Dig.
performs her own stuff. So at the end of the day, the king though, here's what.
I give her props. Go ahead.
I find her and Molly Bless doing Starliners, which is playing Canadian reggae music that people have never. Molly Bless play Lillian Allen Panning show.
Dig.
The man
throughout the pandemic, he's been playing steadily all Canadian music.
They created a show during the pandemic to play Canadian reggae music.
Absolutely.
How can I not rate them?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
How can I not help them?
Speak about them and give me some others that you think.
I think about this young lady, Nerissa Zion, on my mind. She's a really beautiful talent. Me help out the youth them called Foundation Steppers out of Guelph. Me help out the youth them called Chronicles Dub Trio because them really check for reggae music, is the man.
They might
have come from Goa, India, you know.
Some Goa Indians who are doing
and they play pure
dub reggae.
And them have the respect of the elders and the youngsters in the industry, you understand? Which is a difficult thing to do, you know. Rupert from Messenger just messaged you them and say, yo, Dub Chronicles Messenger vibe one of these days. And it's like, wow, man, I love to see the so-called old school and the young school. Then I also look at man like Moja, who
from Church and Rights back in the day. Vocalist,
like
guitarist.
The man started the band. He was one of the founding members of the band.
Absolutely. And he was and done a number of other bands he was involved at that.
Well, he worked with Big Sugar for a minute.
Yeah. And he was supposed to be part of the Parachute Club, but I think he was in TNT at the time when they got it together.
Yeah, all kind of thing went down with that Parachute.
Yeah, he's been very influential. Go ahead.
He's very influential and integral in the history of Canadian reggae. So I spend my time with man like him now, even in a reasoning session. Because are you trying to get Red Stripe to sponsor this thing next time we do
Hey,
the worst tasting beer, but you'll take the money them
worst tasting beer out of the Caribbean, Red Stripe. Yeah.
But they sponsored the show, so yeah.
I had to do it because I'm with a very ugly Jamaican. So
you can't blame me. You can't blame me. But what I'm saying is Moja's a foundation. Rupert Harvey of Messenger's Foundation.
Oh, absolutely. Respect is due, baby.
Jason Wilson.
All of the Harveys.
All the Harvey brothers, yes. Carl Harvey with Toots and the Maytals for years.
Yep, long time, baby.
You have Blessed, you have Escaliva, you have Kirk Diamond, you have Amoy, you have the list. We have a shoot, and then when you listen to Starliners, I hear some artists know
that you don't even know about.
Was here, and then good.
Yes.
So we are in our own way creating our own space and our own little infrastructure right now, which has never been done in this country before. We should have been doing this shit back in the 60s. But Carl Mullen started out kind of like this.
Did Jackie Matu was here?
Right.
Bumpy.
Carl managed Jackie Matu.
Bumpy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Look at-
Colleen
look at
Davis. We had a whole bunch of people come through this town, baby.
Sib-
But tell me
Leroy
something.
Sibbles.
I
Leroy
like you,
Sibbles.
Leroy Sibbles, of course, for
William,
years.
William. We're talking reggae royalty that lived here, but we didn't create our own infrastructure. And that's what I'm trying to
What-
work with Toronto
What
Reggae.
needs to be done, though, as you speak about what you're doing with Toronto Reggae, what needs to be done to establish that infrastructure? Like we got radio shows, we got venues when they open up again.
Everybody has to be willing to take on a part of the industry that no one else is doing. So somebody might say, start the first booking agency. Somebody's going to start the first real Canadian reggae record label that actually sells product. We need people who really work at marketing only. We need people who are connected like clout-wise to getting music played around the world. Like connections to DJs and stuff, which is growing with what Mali Bless and Tanya Perry and DJs from around the world are now linking them for Canadian reggae tracks. You know, I think a young lady like Chelsea Stewart, like,
Oh yeah,
there's some really good people out here.
And her momager,
the Mama Jerry is there.
Karen Stewart,
point-
baby, she's
my
right
point
behind that
is,
shit.
King, my point is, King, we have enough talented souls to do some stuff, okay? More than enough talented people, right? So we need people willing to do some grunt labor, but I can't tell anybody to do that because nobody's stupid like me on Toronto Reggae. We work on reggae every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see what we're doing right now? How long we've been on this thing, this call
I'm
now,
telling
bro?
you, I have no idea. I took the clock off.
Well, you could have kept the clock on, so I'd know. Anyway, all of this was a reggae conversation. All of it.
Excuse me, I thought it was a calypso conversation, a jazz conversation, an R&B conversation. Why you get so
Alright.
dominating about this reggae thing, baby?
We already talked about the whole calypso thing. Don't
Fuck
start
you.
with me.
Fuck you with
don't-
that shit. Fuck off. Fuck off with that shit. Like it's like me saying,
every one of my
King,
Trinidad virgins them right now. If they watch this, every one of my Trinidad virgins right now gonna give it to me, but that's okay.
no,
Because
but hold on. Let me give it to you in relation to them then. Here.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Clifton. I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Julian,
Peace and
I'd
love.
like to thank you so much. This is Julian. You can get him at CanadianReggaeWorld.com. He's a bon vivant around town. He does everything. He's into everything. And as we say in Antigua and Barbuda, the boy is enough. Anything to do with reggae, he be right in there. Even if you don't like him, he up in your face.
Inde.
I tell you, he
Inde.
in there. You're enough, Julian. Julian,
Oh.
thank you so much for doing this thing with me. I know I like you, but man, I love you.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
And
The
I know
feeling's
you
so-
like me, but you
the
don't
feeling,
love
the
me.
feeling is totally mutual. I don't even like you, but
Dick,
the feeling is there, and happy that you actually took the time to do this work. And maybe we should do it again if you're lucky.
we'll do it because look, my fans and them don't like you either. I have to.
Hey, this is
Send
long
them
though. People are
messages.
gonna be bored. People are gonna be so bored because it's just so long. Next time, half hour and we'll cut it.
Okay. But people don't gonna love you either. I mean, I love you sometimes.
Hey, buddy. Happy Hanukkah, man.
You too, baby. Man, I love you. Man, I love you.
Happy Hanukkah, man.
Take care, baby.
Later.
Right on.
Later.
Thanks for your time, baby.